Hi, in this video, we want to finish up pretty much pronouns, and we want to finish it up with demonstrative pronouns. What's a demonstrative pronoun, you ask? Why, of course, a demonstrative pronoun is a showing pronoun. This, that, these, those. And we've already seen some of them. We've already seen two of them of what's called the near demonstrative. The near demonstrative is when I'm talking about something or some things that are close to me. This table, these marbles. The far demonstrative is when I'm talking about something that's farther away, like that table, those TVs, or whatever. Demonstratives, this, these, those, that. Okay? We've seen some singular forms. We've seen ze. We saw ze in verse 8. It means this in reference to something masculine. It could be this man implied, but of course, Hebrew makes all of its nouns either masculine or feminine. So whenever you're talking about any masculine kind of noun, you're going to say this and you're going to use ze. So in verse 8, we saw mize am, and the mem, hirik, and doubling is from. Min, the nun assimilates when no vowel separates, but the mem is from. And then there's ze, from this, and then am is people, from this people. Easy enough. Why is it the masculine form? Because the noun people is masculine. So ze, the masculine form of the word for this. We saw the verse before that in verse 7, zot. We've seen zot a couple times. Zot is the feminine form of the word this when you're referring to, yes, it could be this woman, but this anything that's feminine. So in verse 7, this wickedness, ha-ra'ah hazot. Here it's functioning not as a demonstrative pronoun, and it's not a demonstrative pronoun here, it's a demonstrative adjective, because it's telling you about something, this something. Demonstrative pronoun is when you say this and it's implied that it's a something. If you didn't understand what I just said, don't worry about it. So adjectives have to agree in gender, number, and definiteness. So kamat's hey in hara'ah is an indicator of feminine singular, right? And so zot is feminine singular. And then it has to agree not only in gender and number, feminine singular, but it also has to agree in definiteness. So ha is the article. Resh says, I don't do doubling, so we have compensatory lengthening there. But here on zot, we have hey, patak, doubling. So we have the regular form of the article. So ze is this when it's referring to a masculine singular thing. And I didn't need to put the third there, by the way. I could have just put masculine singular. Zot refers to something that's feminine singular. This is all review, stuff we've had before. The plural, you might, I'm going to have to memorize a bunch of forms. Well, good, we don't. Ela is these, and ela is used both for masculine and feminine plural forms. So if I want to say these are the men or these are the women, I'm going to use ela. Here's an example from Genesis 2:4. These are the begettings of the skies and the land. Or in some versions, these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. The beginning of kind of the second creation in Genesis. You have kind of the global, the universal creation in Genesis 1, and then in Genesis 2, you've got the creation of Adam and Eve in the garden. And it begins with verse 2:4 here. And here's how it begins. These are the toledot. These are the begettings of the skies and the land. So, but anyway, we don't need to know all that. Ela is the word for these. It's the plural demonstrative. It's the plural near demonstrative. This and these, we're referring to things that are close to us. Now, you might say, are there far demonstratives for that and those? There are, but they're very easy because you already know them. So who is he and he is she? Now, when it stands all by itself, who means he as a pronoun, and he means she as a pronoun. But what if it's attached to a noun? What if it's describing a noun? Then it functions as the demonstrative. That man, or that something masculine, or that woman, or that something feminine. When it's attached, when it's telling you about a noun, then it becomes the far demonstrative, and it means that. And you might say, wait a minute, how can it mean both he and that? Get over it. Languages are sloppy. Ours is not to question why. Ours is just to memorize or die. So who is normally the pronoun he, but if it's describing a masculine word, it can mean that. And he is normally the word for she, but if it's describing something that's feminine, it can mean that. That's the FAR demonstrative. The plurals, you might guess, are ta-da! It's also the third person pronouns for the plural. So if you want to do those, it's hame. And if you want to those men, or those something masculine. Or if you want to do those women, or those something feminine, you would use hane. Remember, M is male and N is a bunch of nuns. Feminine plural. So you already knew them. Who is he? He is she. Hame and hane. Those are the FAR demonstratives. And that's it. You now know all the demonstrative pronouns of Biblical Hebrew.